Hi and welcome back if you've been here before. This is going to be a reading for Gemini for Sagittarius season leading up to Capricorn season. Again, regardless of whether you have Gemini placements or when you find this reading, messages might be helpful if you feel called to listen. When I started doing this set of zodiac readings, I was guided to do zodiac readings for Sagittarius season leading up to Capricorn season, and I often do readings for the full moon for the zodiac signs, but that wasn't the conscious thought. I just was guided to do zodiac readings. And today I realized we are having a full moon in Gemini on the 27th. Today is, I think it might be today. I am so bad with dates and days because time is not so linear when we are not bound by as many social constructs, and we can perceive the fluidity of time. If you get it, you get it. So I guess the Gemini full moon is significant, and the fact that I was guided to use the Monology cards for the energies for these zodiac readings as well. Now the idea is that each sign, there are different aspects that you might want to look at, but if you are called to listen to any of the zodiacs, whether you are a Gemini sun sign or any of the others, we all have aspects of these zodiac signs within us, or should tap into other aspects of these signs. Like you might possibly, for the manifestation that you are working towards, need to tap into being more bold or being more expressive or whatever the case may be. And sometimes we have internal blocks, beliefs, emotions, trauma, things that prevent us or hold us back from being the highest version of who we are, being our authentic selves. And sometimes just hearing these things just remind you of who you are and help you to just access that again in times that it's difficult to be confident when you usually are, or be happy when you usually are, or trust when you are usually trusting, or if that is a part of you that's been buried or lost. Sometimes these things are just there to help activate us, give us support in moments when we need it, or get us to question something that we've been doing or feeling, and not in any way to bring us shame or guilt, regret or fear, because those types of energies, they don't help us expand. Okay, so I did notice that there are recurring cards that keep coming out in the different zodiac signs, and this one I think came out in 2 other signs, probably the last 2 or 3 that I did. A new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. If you want to have a look at the previous readings I did for what the message was about a new romantic cycle. It might be different in this one, but it might be related, so let's see. I am feeling like this is more love in your life in whichever way. Just feeling more loved, feeling the frequency of love. I feel like this could also be like a collective energy where we are just starting a new cycle, and it's based in love and truth and not fear. The Libra energy is like the justice card, and I feel like collectively scales are balancing and we are working through karma, and it's, you know, we can project it outward and say these institutions, these groups, whatever, these people are doing these things and justice needs to be brought. That is in some perspective and some level, but from a higher perspective, this earth is one, we are one. We are all energy. We are part of this in parallel timelines in different ways. We've all contributed to what we experience in some way, and we are healing and changing, evolving and growing individually and collectively. So tell me, what is this new romantic cycle for Gemini for this period? You might have a connection with a Libra, or Libra might be one of your placements. A Libra moon specifically, but doesn't have to be. Why am I getting so many for this reading? So many from this deck, but okay, let's see. I feel like this is very significant. Believe in the impossible blue moon. This is like rare occurrences. I don't know if this could be something happening in the world, a rare occurrence like what we are experiencing now with the solar activity is like extremely rare. If you want to look that up, we are having lots of solar flares and geomagnetic storms and CMEs, but there's something specific that's very rare that's happening with the sun right now. But in your life, there could be maybe a once in a lifetime opportunity, or you are having an experience that only comes around once in your life, or there is something big that you have been manifesting that you need to believe is possible, even when it's difficult. Great things, amazing things, significant things, unique things, because they are rare, they feel like they can be impossible. But nothing is impossible in an infinite universe. The blue is significant, so something around the throat chakra and communication, expression. If you have got a tingle in your throat, or coughing a lot, or an ache in your throat, or any illness around your throat, like tonsils, or I don't know, thyroid issues, obviously you want to have it medically checked out, but there's also a energetic or an emotional component where you might have in past lives been persecuted for speaking up about certain things, or in this life, or your voice has been blocked in some way. Maybe as a child you had adults around you that didn't want to hear what you had to say, either intentionally or unintentionally, without necessarily realizing that they were silencing you, or there was overt, whatever culture, race, or social context you're in, there might be some aspect of your life that relates to your family or your race or your culture or your society that's not been heard and not been expressed. Experiences that may be specific to you but is also related to a certain group of people, and that needs to be shared, maybe not necessarily by you, but could be shared by you. And I feel like also this impossible thing might be related to your path, your purpose, you sharing your story, your experiences. And it's not just for you, but it will bring something significant in your life. but also be helpful for others, a greater collective being heard through your story being heard. Wow, I didn't expect that. It's time to take action. New moon in Aries. This feels like you needing to feel, own, and embody your power. This is Emperor energy. This is also fire energy, and you know there's nuances to these energies. Like fire, if you think about fire, you could think about aggressive authority, but authority can be direct and fierceful without being harmful. I don't know if my words are, if I'm saying the right words. It sounds weird. Anyway, you need to take charge of something, and I'm feeling like it needs to be authoritative and assertive in a calm way, sort of in a knowing way, because you know your truth and you're owning your power without needing to exert it in a distorted way on others, but still knowing how to share it and own it and allow it to stand in your power. We will clarify what the action is, bring love into the situation. What if you're doing it, are you doing it for love? And not love necessarily in the romantic sense, but this could be for someone. It could be that someone needs to take action towards a love relationship or someone that you love, bringing in the balance in a relationship if things have been unbalanced or unfair, unjust. This could be romantic, platonic, or familial. I feel like it's romantic for some, it's not for everyone. If you have been focused more on, we all have cycles and seasons and periods in our lives, and sometimes a season of your life is meant to be very selfish and the love is about you, and sometimes you go through a season where you are meant to build in the material world, in the physical world, build wealth, build money, build a business, and it's very outward. And sometimes you go through a season where you've maybe already worked on your finances, or you've already gone through your studies, and now it's time to focus on a relationship, a love relationship. I mean, life is meaningless if we all have money and no real love for self or for others or for someone's. I think we can face so much challenges with romantic relationships that we can feel like we don't need it. And sometimes you should go through a period in your life where you are single or not actively looking for love, but we shouldn't discard it as an impossibility that you can find a true love or just a good love, a healthy love. And for someone, I feel like the action that they need to be taking is towards someone that they love. I feel like this person knows that they love this person or want to be with this person. But up to this point, it might have seemed like an impossibility. But now with the new moon in Aquarius, Aquarius is sort of genius energy, innovative, creative energy, finding solutions to problems. And I feel like now you might feel more empowered to figure out how to begin this relationship, or to start it, for it to change, transform into something new, where it might have seemed like this is never going to happen. Okay, now I don't know if we need to clarify, because that feels like the message. But let's ask the cards anyway. What is this new romantic cycle, please? Wow, okay. Sometimes the cards just do what it does what it wants to, and you just have to go with it because there's a reason for it. And number 12, I was getting a download yesterday for myself that might relate to someone else. about the number 12 and something happening around the age of 12, someone significant coming into your life, a soulmate, which doesn't have to be a love soulmate, it can be a friendship, a family member, something. Something happening around the age of 12, a significant soulmate that activated a certain part of you, or just was what you needed at the time to be a companion and a friend, or a significant life event like a loss, or changing schools, or a change in your family structure, something like that. But we also have the scribe, and this someone is writing something, a book, a thesis, I don't know, anything, and this is significant. There might be a significant opportunity that comes around, or something that is very significant about what you are writing. You could be, it could be just writing a book, a self-help book, or your memoir, your story, or this could be something spiritual, scribing information that you are downloading from the Akash, or downloads you're getting from the divine that is necessary for humanity. This guy has the wisdom and he's writing it down, and these guys are transcribing it, so making copies of it. So also there might be something around publishing for someone, copywriting. We have the King of Keys. Someone is on their way home. That feels like a side note. There's a masculine energy that travels a lot, or even if you're not masculine, a feminine energy that travels a lot. Or is going to be traveling, but I feel like this is someone that is going home, and that can be a metaphorical home or a physical home. And then we have the Ark of the Covenant. And number 11 is alignment for me. I feel like someone has, this can be very spiritual, like you have a soul contract to do something in this life. With someone, or regarding something that maybe your work. I feel like this belief in the impossible is, if you have a dream or desire that has to do with work or your purpose in life, you need to know that it might have seemed so difficult for this to happen, but it's intended to happen, and you have this deep desire, and it probably won't leave you, because this is a soul contract. You're meant to do this, and even if you don't know how you're meant to do this, it's going to happen. And there's something around the summertime. This is almost like a timing card. There's a big change happening. I feel like if you're in the southern hemisphere, this is happening now in the summertime, and if you're in the northern hemisphere, this is happening now in the winter time, or vice versa. This card is also about, in winter time, we are meant to flow with nature, and we are nature. We need times of rest and times of activity, and almost like if the weather is cold where you are, you're meant to slow down, you are meant to rest, you are meant to hibernate, you are meant to snuggle up with loved ones, spend more time with yourself. If it is summertime, you're meant to be out, you are meant to be active, you're meant to be social. And then there's also something around the sun shining and things being bright and happy and abundant and prosperous. And winter can be dark and gloomy, but it shouldn't have to be. It all depends on our perspective and what we allow ourselves to feel, and how we allow ourselves to perceive things. So darkness doesn't have to be bad. Like a seed needs to be planted in the soil and then it's dark there, but it's not scary. But we can sometimes see the darkness as scary when it doesn't have to be. Okay. Let me try and get all of these in the shot. So, you're meant to take action on I feel like you're meant to do work that you love and not just have a job. And that, like, you could be falling in love with what you're doing or how you're living. If this isn't about a romantic relationship. And this is meant to be a season that you are shining, that you are out there actively living in your purpose and actively doing the work that you are intended to do. And it can start out small, or it could be some big synchronistic, serendipitous event or sequence of events. You need to bring love into your work is also what I'm getting. Like, even if you don't swap over from a job that you dislike into a creative pursuit or spiritual pursuit or just something that you really enjoy, it could be changing one company to the other. Even if you don't quit your job today, you might want to think about, what would I need to do? Maybe I should send in an application to that job while I'm still here, or speak to that person and do more research, or do a course if it's a slightly different position. There needs to be some action taken towards this thing that you love, whether this is a person or a place or a thing. Let's get a little bit more clarity. What is this soul contract? The Ark of the Covenant. What is the soul contract? Not all messages are for everyone, and for some, the message will be some sort of justice. This can be social justice. This could be you bringing justice to yourself by loving yourself better, by being true to your purpose, by believing in yourself, by telling your story. This could be justice for yourself. If you or the universe is bringing justice to something that was unbalanced or unfair in your life, likely it's going to help others as well that are in the same situation, in the same group setting, or demographic or contextual setting or whatever. And we co-create with the universe. So the universe brings justice to you, but you also do things that brings justice to the situation. Tell me about the scribe. What is this scribe? Clarify that for someone, please. I actually want to read the message in that book because I feel like this has something to do with some writing or the Eight of Cups. Someone might have experienced a lot of difficulty. My thoughts are automatically shifting to the book thief and man's search for meaning. Those types of books where people experienced a Holocaust, and I don't even know if I can say this on YouTube now because it's a very sensitive topic. Genocide, apartheid, slavery, some sort of social circumstance that you lived through that you might be having to write about. Like, you're healing from it and walking away. Like, you had to go through something, or not had to, but you experienced something that might have had, that was greatly emotional, but also affected you physically. You've probably healed from that now, and you're walking towards the sunshine. but you need to be writing about it for yourself and for others. Let me read the message for the scribe. This reading is interesting and it's gone on so long, but it feels necessary. The learned scribe writes at a high desk. Nearby are a number of other working scribes. In some ancient societies, scribes were simply copiers of holy texts. You might have been a writer in a previous life. In time is not linear, so these lifetimes are parallel. But like in linear time, in recent years or decades, you could have been a writer. But even further back in time, you could have been a scribe, and those gift skills come through in this lifetime, and that might be something you want to do or are already doing in this life, writing in some way. But in many, they were the most learned men of their time. So not just the skill of writing, but you might have wisdom that you don't know you have access to, or that is trickling through bit by bit through your life. And I feel like when you start writing, it'll just flow through you and come through you, or when you start speaking about it, you might also want to look into automatic writing. People well versed in law, scripture, philosophy, history, and more. This card indicates a great upsweep in mind and study for you. If there is any subject with which you'd like to acquaint or reacquaint yourself, do so. It's not just for the sake of study, although that's always a good thing. This period of higher mind and higher learning is nothing less than a change your life or even change the world opportunity, and that's bringing me back to this belief in the impossible, this super rare occurrence. Just as the Wright brothers began by studying the flight pattern of birds, you can rise up on the wings of discovery now. Birds might be a sign that this reading is for you. Birds are messengers. It's sort of symbolic of bringing messages from above to the earth. So you might see birds or have specific relationships with birds, be a bird watcher, or somehow birds will show up in your life. There may be a teacher or even an entire school that can help you with this upliftment. Be sure to seek out the right person or place of learning. You could also become a writer or a teacher yourself at this time, elevating and contributing to others. If you're involved in any legal matters, there is a person who can help you with this. Let your great vision guide you to him or her. This could also be a time when you might find yourself writing proposals, grants, essays, blogs, articles, or books. Notice what compels you and be sure to answer the call. That is a lot of information already in this reading. So this is kind of what you need to take action on. If you're meant to start a blog, write a book, an article, a thesis, your PhD. Now is the time. Notice the weather where you are, the season that you are in can be an indication of the season that you need to be in internally. Like maybe it's winter and then it's time to cuddle up by the fire and read books. If you're already a writer, you might be doing research in that time, or just allowing yourself to retrieve the information from your subconscious or from the higher dimensions, from the world around you, and then in the summertime you'll be writing. And again, it doesn't have to be literally summer or winter, but it's the season that you are in, and you should be able to tap in and feel what season that is for you. You might be writing a romance novel or something romantic. I write poetry. Let's see. I feel like it's really important to do the things that we love and be in spaces where we are loved and we can love and show love. And take action on the things that we love. Okay, this is not the deck I wanted to shuffle. we're going to end this reading off with a final message from the Work Your Light Oracle deck. One card, please. One card, please. Unbound. I have never pulled this card in this deck before, and other cards seem to come out often. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Someone might need to write about spirituality. I mean, we are all awakening, becoming more conscious and aware, and there's a lot happening in the physical world that can be written about or should be written about. But there's also spiritual aspects, or even bringing the two together, the spiritual aspect and the physical nature of us being humans in this earth and the things beyond in the universe. You might even write a scientific article about the solar activities and the Schumann's resonance, the auroras, the astrology even. There's a book that needs to be written, but also because we are having physical experiences, we are also working through karma, we have the Ark of the Covenant here, we have soul contracts. I feel like someone is being released from karmic patterns and karmic soul contracts and might now be coming together with soulmates, soul family, soul tribe, a significant person, a relationship, because you've become unbound from the things that were tying you to old patterns, things that weren't allowing you to be free, your soul to be free, your heart to be free, for you to do the things that you want to in this life and you are intended to. You are untying yourself from that, and I feel like the writing process is significant to a final release or to the path that you've been on. It is time to release old stories that have been playing out in your life. They are coming up to be healed. There has never been a safer time to clear these patterns than right now. And patterns is significant, noticing the patterns that we keep repeating. Take a look at patterns in your life that you are ready to release. Ancient vows and contracts that your soul made that have an expiry date. Consider the things that you feel loyalty and obligation to, and if they've been serving you. It could be a vow of silence or chastity or poverty. It's time to unwind from them. This is the life in which you free yourself from the trauma of past lives. What old ways of being have an expiry date? When you name them, you claim them and stop holding power over you. And even if you don't consciously know what they are, you can just affirm that you are releasing yourself from any previous lives, vows of chastity, poverty, or silence that you may have taken that now no longer serves you and needs to be released. When acknowledging these old patterns, it is also important to acknowledge how they have served you up until now. For example, a soul pattern of playing small caused by a soul fear of being seen or sharing your voice would have served you by keeping you safe, but may no longer be serving you. In order to grow, you now need to soften by receiving and calling in support. It is time to unbind from the old ways of being that are no longer sustainable. And there's an activation here that says, which you can repeat, I release, and I think I should show this so that if you want to screenshot it, you can. I release all old soul stories, vows, contracts, and patterns that are no longer aligned with who I came here to be in the present time. I carry the lessons, growth, and gifts, but I no longer choose to live the same story. May I be unbound, unbound, forever unbound. And that is your reading, Gemini. This is probably one of the longest readings I've done. There's a lot of information here. I hope this finds who it needs to. All of the information isn't always for everyone. There might be some bits of information for specific people. This is a collective reading. It's not specific to one person. But also we can have intuitive hits and epiphanies of our own, hearing something that may not be directly related, but can you just get a knowing of things that you already know, and it's just being affirmed by hearing something else. Often people can take things from these videos and readings and be like, but how can that be? And I don't, yeah, of course, you don't have to accept everything you hear. Some things can be helpful for you and some things are for someone else, and you don't have to attach to that or have a negative reaction to it. Let it go. I made a community post earlier about allowing things to flow, but still being aware of it and noticing it and understanding it, but not making it part of your identity or letting it affect you in such a way that it upsets you when it is someone's reality somewhere. It may not be yours, but it may be someone else's. And you may come across it just to affirm that this is not me, or this is something that I might just need to reflect on or think about. And now I'm going on a ramble. I hope that this was helpful. If you've made it this far, please like the video, comment or share. It's just polite. It's an energy exchange. Let's make it a positive one. Subscribe if you would like to join me again, and I do hope to see you again in another video.